Hello, I am your new favorite, JJ Caballero, and this is MonoStereoVideo, a podcast about movie music. I'm a songwriter, producer, DJ, and I love movies, and this is the perfect excuse to talk about about movies and music, especially with my co-host, the lovely Casey Goins. How's it going, my love?
Good. Fine. I was hoping that it wouldn't come out raspy since I've been congested. So I was like, oh.
You got a cool rasp. I think I could kind of hear like the frequency in which like the scratch is. It's like a higher frequency. I'm gonna have to tune it out there.
Oh my
God. Welcome to welcome back. Like we're welcome. We were on break last week. We didn't put out an episode last week. We were on vacation. Mm-hmm. We took that time to just take vacation. I was going to re-release an episode. We were talking about maybe doing another episode. But, it was just like there was a lot to do. There was a lot going on.
It was my birthday.
It was her birthday. It was Casey's birthday. It was an awesome time. We had a great time in California. We stayed in Long Beach this time. But then we still went out to LA and celebrated with our friend Eddie and Luan. And that was awesome. It was really cool. What'd you think?
About Long Beach?
Yeah, just about the trip.
No, yeah, it was fun. I wish it was longer.
I know.
It went by too fast, but
it was
real
fun.
And I mean, I know it was different going on vacation with my mom.
Oh, yeah.
So.
We took Casey's mom. It was cool,
She was fine.
She's like...
She behaved.
Yeah, she behaved.
I was worried.
We were so worried that she wouldn't behave.
I was a little stressed.
Yeah, but I mean, and then she was stressed, and she was causing us unwanted stress prior to it. I mean, as she is wont to do. Mm-hmm. So she was awesome. It was fun. We had a good time. I'm gonna call her out. She even edibled. Edibled with us. Yeah. So that was cool. Mm-hmm. At least she did that. So that was a good time. Our Airbnb was really nice.
Yes, a very nice Airbnb.
What else? That restaurant Catch. Shout out to our friend Jorda.
Jorda.
Jorda. I know. Catch was really cool.
Had a super awesome meal at Catch.
Yeah, very LA. We were very LA. We ate at the Griddle the next day on Sunset.
Right, with gigantic Flintstones food.
Yeah.
Very
and
good. Thank you, Jody, for great birthday breakfast.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had a great time. We had a really good time. Thank you. Let's see. We got some other trips lined up this year. Mm-hmm. We'll update you on that, but we'll keep the episodes coming.
Yeah.
We'll keep them.
The next one coming up is Erykah Badu in Dallas.
That's true.
Weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Ah, man. Okay.
I'm excited for that too.
Same. At the top of the episode, I also want to just recap and re-announce that March 21st at Mona, if you are in El Paso, Texas, March 21st at Mona, we're going to have our 1-year anniversary. I believe I'm calling it Tip Ring Sleeve. That's what I'm going to call it. I think so. But it's going to be basically, we're going to have a cool DJ night. We're going to play some cool music from different soundtracks, other dance music, things that you can move to, very cyberpunk theme. Mm-hmm. We want to do it very cyberpunky, dancey, weird, but it's going to be cool. It's going to be weird. There's weird music in movies that we could put out there and play and stuff too. And it's going to be cool. Yeah. What else? Let's see. Vacay, catch up with each other. How are you doing, my love?
Good, better. I was, as soon as we got back, chapped lips and congestion, and it's barely starting to go away today, so I'm glad
we were just dried up
on the downhill, because
it was it's very dry out here in El Paso, Texas.
So I apologize for my scratchy.
No need to apologize. Alrighty. We are starting our Twilight series today. We're in the world of Twilight. 2008's Twilight, directed by Catherine Hardwicke. Twilight. I've been like really wanting to do these.
I've been excited for it just because we were in Trentland for so long, and I loved it, and I'm glad we did it, and I feel really good about it. But there was a little bit in the middle of it where I was like, I want to talk about somebody else.
I know it was getting really rough, and that's why we do want to do some other episodes, but I'm kind of thinking of maybe like a Patreon situation here where we could have extra stuff. But, we got to figure that out. I think it's a little down the road. But you're right. We do have to have like little Monster of the Week episodes, stuff like that. But this breaks it up. We passed Trent and Atticus Land. It was good. It was a good time. They had some good stuff. But I'm excited to talk about like music, like songs.
Just other random artists, like a collaboration of people.
And that's what this is all about. Like the Twilight Saga is 5 films that are based off like directly analogous to the books that were written of them, and they're a phenomenon. If you didn't know what Twilight was, if you you
weren't born yet.
You weren't born. You were under a rock. I'm sure there's some listeners we have that might have like just
just wasn't on the radar,
or it was like always on the we're at the point now to where like we could have like kids who are like 19 to 18, you know what I'm saying,
like rediscovering,
or like just like, I've always been around since fucking
like I remember my mom
I was they're 10 years old in 2018 and like my mom was shit like exactly so this is already kind of it's heading into we're 2024. In 4 years it'll be 20 years since this movie. That's crazy, right?
Yep.
That's wild, right? So, yeah, Twilight, the whole saga, it made the careers of a lot of actors. It made the careers of a lot of, I mean, we're going to talk about it, but like Paramore, like it kind of like, it catapulted them.
Blew them up a little bit.
Yeah. This was...
it blew them up more than, they were popular, but this one like blew them up.
Yeah. This was they were right there. It like I think we'll talk about it. We're gonna talk about it right now. But 2008, directed by Catherine Hardwicke. Catherine Hardwicke, also the director of films like Lords of Dogtown. I've never seen that one. I actually hear it's kind of good. I don't know.
Didn't we watch it? I could have sworn.
I've never seen it. No, I've never seen Lords of... I'm down to check it out.
Okay, yeah. I don't know why I thought we did.
13 is the one that I
That one I did
seen.
Make you watch.
Yeah, you made me watch that one. That was a...
And did you see some correlations? Like,
well, yeah.
Or just the colors of the movie? That's what I know.
They were very desaturated. It was very desaturated, and then it was like indie camera stuff. So it was like shaky kind of handheld stuff. There was a lot of that going on. Kind of like she's coming out of like the 90s indie school, I think, like that. But like what else did she do? I mean, that movie's cringy in its own
what else? What other movie she did that you're gonna be like,
your favorite Miss Bala.
We've never watched this movie, but the trailers were more than enough.
Yeah, they were ubiquitous. Yeah,
from watching it. Oh my goodness!
Have you seen Red Riding Hood?
Yes, I did, and it was because so I saw all the Twilight Saga movies in the theater, and it was mostly because my manager at the time, Angie, shout out to Angie. She's super mega fan. If she still lived here, like I wish we would have totally had her on. Like she would,
cool.
But yeah, she's super mega fan. She has lots of tattoos from the movie.
Really?
Yeah, like
what was it?
Yeah,
what were they?
The one that Jacob gets. Well, they'll see this is later on, but it's like
the
like imagery that are part of the characters. Like she has those symbols tattooed. But yeah, we would go opening night. We would wait in line after work. Yeah, I remember doing all of that, and just like. It was more fun for me because of the experience in the theater of hearing everybody's reactions to the movie and scenes.
Yeah, every time we watch this, I ask Casey, like, so what did people do at this time? Yeah. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about that more. You also read the books.
I did read the books.
Do you remember them enough to, like, differentiate?
Yeah, well, yeah, because there's more. It's been so long since I read them, but it's... like, what am I trying to say? I remember parts of why the movie was so frustrating to watch because there wasn't those explanations of, like, a lot of times with how you hear her talking and whatever, because it's a lot of that's like descriptive stuff in the book. So it's just like you miss out on a lot of stuff. Just the same as with any other film from book that's made, like you miss a lot of stuff. They can't put everything in there. But with this one, it made it hard to like understand why certain things were happening or certain things were said because you didn't get all that background of the feelings.
They were also
so much feeling.
Yeah, like they were also saying on that podcast I was listening to that like. This was at a time though, like they were trying to. It was like they're trying to translate the book to screen. Like they didn't want to make. It wasn't like a adaptation where they needed to make changes.
It was very close, but it's just like there was a lot of stuff where it's like it seemed too rushed and too this because you don't get the build of like everything.
The description of what they're feeling,
like all the little like the eyes did this or the you know what I mean?
But
like,
you just have to see it.
Shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do they describe the little cactus at the beginning?
The little cactus. Oh no, that's
like,
no.
What the fuck? Just standing there with a little shovel and a little cactus.
The cover of the book, how it's in the stuff like that.
So Catherine Hardwick, she's a Texan. It says that she grew up in McAllen. Oh, that's cool. You know, farm along the Rio Grande. That's how we are down here. We just farm along the Rio Grande. Let's see. She worked as a production designer with Cameron Crowe. On Vanilla Sky. Mm-hmm. Oh,
but see how you could see how the colors too, like the
I see that. Open your eyes. That's a good movie too. Well, I mean, it was good. Yeah, it was good. It had some parts that I was like, you know, what? Does that have a good soundtrack? Vanilla Sky.
It does.
Cameron Crowe. Yeah, we should probably do that at some point. Yeah, we'll mark that down. Alrighty. Let's get into Twilight.
Did we mention the screenwriter, Melissa Rosenberg?
Yes, let's
just because she, like, you could just feel the feeling of the movie, like all of the dialogue and whatever, because she did the OC. You know what I mean?
Step Up.
She was the creator for Jessica Jones, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's
and
cool.
And I've wanted to see that show because I've heard that
I heard
that one
cool.
got a lot of like good, because that's the one with what's her face, right? Ritter.
Yes, Ritter. That's her name. I didn't know. Yeah, cool. Yeah. This was a big. I saw this in theaters too. This was the only one I saw in theaters.
Okay.
This was the only one.
Who did you go with?
And I think it was like an ex-girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it was.
She wanted to watch it, or you were
She wanted to watch it,
okay.
and I was like, okay. But of course,
Where did you see it? Which theater?
I don't remember. I really don't. It might have been like at the tail end. Like it might have been like in a dollar theater because I was fucking, whatever.
Yeah.
I was 2008. Okay, so that's another thing. Like we're coming at this like as adults because we saw these like we were adults when this was like a kid youth thing, but we were like
we weren't.
I was
teens.
I was in college.
I was like in my career already. Yeah. Like. Out of college, not in college.
I was in college. Yeah, I was in my second year. It was that's when it was. Yeah, so like, it's not like I was into it. I came to it later. Like I guess just talking about our relations to this. Like I have seen these movies multiple times with Casey. Multiple times on my own now, like after Casey, like I've seen them multiple times on like with like watch alongs with podcasts, and you know what I'm saying? Like
you can't not watch it.
I've seen them,
and it doesn't matter what part it's on. Like you just watch it.
I've seen them through so many times already. Like just kind of like just remember like thinking about it, and as we're watching it now, it's like I have seen this movie a lot. So this one,
the same, like the parts that are funny get like a little extra funny. Or like the cringy parts are just like super eye rolly.
Yeah, it's wild. It's based on the book by the same name, Stephenie Meyer. Stephenie Meyer. Let's talk about Stephenie Meyer a little bit. She's best known for this. Like she was. So there's a few things here. This book. It was one of those where like she shopped it to so many people. She just shopped it and shopped it and shopped it to so many publishers, and finally the publisher that picked this up, like they picked it up, they picked the trilogy of books and stuff. They found something in it, but she was just really persistent in like getting it out there. So kudos on her to that. Like good for that. Good for her. Good for her. She is part of the Church of Latter-day Saints. She's a Mormon. And she went to Brigham Young University. That's an inherent. Brigham Young was like the head of the LDS Church and stuff like that. Okay. So like that's also like this weird fascination I have with this movie is like the more I learn about it, the more I like
the little like controlling thing.
Yeah, like
how
exactly.
It's justified.
Yes, like it's her point of view is coming from she's and she said it. She's instilling like her Mormon thoughts and her philosophies, and that it's very apparent. It's very apparent, and like to the point where it's like, oh, it's kind of it's because the LDS is it's controversial. It has its fucking things. It has its patriarchy. It has its constructs and shit, and she's just very embedded in that, and she's found a way. It's weird, like she's found a way to funnel that into sexy tween vampire shit. You know what I mean? That like is just culturally a huge thing. There's so many fans. It's crazy. It's wild. It's just so wild. So she did this. This is her thing. This is her jam. She also wrote a book called The Host. Was it
The Host.
The Host?
Yeah, Saoirse Ronan did the
movie. I heard that was pretty bad too.
Yeah.
I heard it was bad. The Chemist was it was a TV series based on Dan O'Malley's book The Rook. So yeah, she's trying to get at the youth. She's getting at the youth right now. Getting at the youth. And released these books to wide acclaim. People really got into them, and it wasn't very long until they were released. The movie started. Production started. I mean, this was released, and it was a big hit. It was like automatic. It was just, this is the jam. So let's get into this cast list before we talk about the plot a little, and then it'll get us into the music, and that's how we'll go. All right, so Kristen Stewart as Bella Swan. Kristen Stewart rocks.
Yes.
Yeah. This.
What was the last thing you remember us watching her in besides this? Obviously.
Crimes of the Future.
Timlin.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't watched Crimes of the Future, watch it. It's creepy. A lot of sounds. A lot of like gross like body stuff.
It's a good
but
one.
It's a
David
cool
Cronenberg.
like sci-fi movie, but it's pretty cringy.
I was trying to think of that one that she's in that's like that ended up being like a
that underwater.
Yeah.
I wanted to like that more.
Me too. It wasn't
and I
good.
didn't not like her in it. It just the movie overall was kind of like
it was
like
just,
a letdown.
Because like it could have, how can I say it? It was a Lovecraftian tale. Like it was like Lovecraft because that's there was like a monster, all that shit at the end, and it was great. But it just. Yeah, there was something about
like
it.
Could have the way they went about it was like, but why? Like you already it started off good, and then I feel like it kind of like.
I kind of feel that needs a rewatch, but I don't know if I want to give it the time.
I would rewatch it. I would. I didn't hate it. I just was like, I thought this was going to be better.
Yeah.
I'd rewatch it.
But her, and then our next star. Well, so Bella Swan, main character. It says here on Wikipedia, a 17-year-old girl who moves to the small town of Forks, Washington, from Phoenix, Arizona, and falls in love with Edward Cullen, a vampire.
Yeah, that's what the movie's about.
That's what the movie is. Yeah. But Edward Cullen, played by Robert Pattinson, also a British actor. Before this was Cedric Diggory in The Half-Blood Prince, the Harry Potter movie. And so this movie, so Kristen Stewart was more of a star. Yeah. She had more things behind her. She had like Panic Room. She had I mean other stuff, right? I don't really 100% know.
She did. She had one where she played like where she didn't speak, I believe, in the movie. Unless I'm confusing her with somebody else. No, I believe it was her, like where she didn't speak for a while in the movie, and then later you learn kind of like why.
Oh, okay. But I mean, since then, it's like it's like there was that, what was it, Snow White and the Huntsman? Was that one that she was in?
That was like a popular, like another I think blockbuster.
Yeah, like she's up and but she's like right now where she's at, like she's getting really good shit. Like she's in really cool stuff. Yeah, that Personal Shopper.
I like the weirder. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I liked that movie a lot.
Yeah, she's in cool weirder stuff, and then Pattinson too. Like after this, I think it was like that Cosmopolis. We haven't seen it together yet.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
Yeah, it's I remember watching it just it was very lurid and like very I didn't know what I was watching. But it's Cronenberg also, so I'm fucking down.
Yeah, I'm
but then
down.
like he just chooses cool stuff. He's Batman now, and he was the
Good
Heron.
Times.
Good Times.
Good
Yeah.
Times.
That's
So
a good
good.
that's a good movie. Yeah. Yeah, he works with good directors and he does good Tenet. He was in Tenet. I forgot that. Yeah, he was in Tenet.
That one I remember we did watch that again because I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. It was cool. It was cool. It was like first time I was like, all right. It was a little disappointing, I think, for me the first time. Second time around, it was like, all right.
I felt.
Yeah, it felt better. Let's see. Peter Facinelli as Carlisle Cullen. Peter Facinelli also in like what was it? The Can't Hardly Wait, right? Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah, he was the Jock.
Yeah, Jock.
Did you ever watch that show that had come out? It was on Fox, I think, and it was called Fastlane. Do you remember that?
No.
It was him, and I think, what's that? So he was like a popular like MTV black guy, and he was in a lot of those like 90s, 2000s. Bill Bellamy, he might have been. It might have been him.
Really?
It might have been him, but they were undercover cops, and Tiffany Amber Thiessen was their boss, and I loved it. It got canceled, but I liked it. It was a cool show. Like they would drive cool cars, and they'd be undercover, and they were like cool dudes or whatever.
I like him. He's cool. Like in this, like he's just a vamp. Like he just looks like he's he's Daddy Vampire.
I feel like he's just playing himself.
Yeah.
Like,
well, he's like. Because in like Can't Hardly Wait, he's like douchey and like I feel like he's more broy, but in this he's just like and then the hair color kind of threw me off.
Like golden.
Yeah, that was wild. Like he looks like a vampire.
And it's because in the books they do like talk about like the colors of their hair and how they're so striking. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, so you've told me like the response to Kristen Stewart as Bella was kind of like
like everybody loved Robert Pattinson because I know you were saying that the Harry Potter fans were not a fan that he was on this.
They weren't because it was like it was more Harry Potter fans like cross franchise or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
But no, like when this came out, everybody of course loved the books and it was super like, oh my God, but nobody liked her. They were like, why? And I guess like they didn't take into account that she's playing an awkward person, but they just threw it on her like she's a bad actress and this and this and that. But it's like, it's also the director's fault too, because there's a lot of movies that I watch where it's just like, you know, that actor is a wonderful actor, but it's that particular director made them do something really annoying.
Well, I mean, I think she's doing a good job. I think, you know what I mean? Like now, like upon rewatch, I'm gonna be honest with you. I started rewatching New Moon again today. Like.
Because I fell asleep while we were watching it again, so that's fine.
I know, but like I was watching it with that listen through again. But it just on those the Blank Check podcast. I'm a Patreon subscriber also, and they have like watch alongs. And just the way that Griffin Newman described, like that he goes to bat for her in that, because like even the director Chris Weitz for the second one, which I'll bring up more about him, but he was saying that she's very like in it, like she's very good, like she's that like whatever, like her ticks are like it's just an emphasis. It's an emphasis on that. Yeah. So, but yeah, I get why people would hate, and it's like, you know, I mean,
it's because she wasn't she wasn't like a super popular actress in that way. Like she wasn't like a top 40s actress for somebody.
Who are people wanting to be? I don't.
I mean, I honestly felt like most people would have been like happier if Ashley Greene would have been Bella Swan. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get. I mean,
just because she's more obviously like. I mean, she's a brunette too, but she's just like that was the point of the book, was for her to not be like obviously pretty, but she still was. You know what I mean? Like,
I get you. Yeah.
Sorry, I keep feeling like I have a hair splinter in my finger.
Next, Elizabeth Reeser as Esme Cullen, the Carlisle's vampire wife. Esme is mommy. She was also, what was that movie we saw her in? She was like the mom, and she passed, and like her kids. Was it with Chalamet? Was she the mom in that one? It was Chalamet and Sabrina. What's her name?
Oh,
Kiernan Shipka.
Yeah, she was the
mom in that, right?
So.
Yeah, she's in. Man, what else? She's in quite a few things. I mean, these are like she's Esme, right? Was she in some of those like the Haunting of stuff too?
No. I know who you're thinking of, but I don't. Wait, no.
I don't know. Let me look that up, but then let me also introduce, like you already brought her up. Ashley Greene was Alice Cullen. Ashley Greene. So I had pulled up her not IMDb. So I had pulled up people on Letterboxd just to kind of see where people were at like after this. So so let's see. Elizabeth Reeser also in that movie. Ouija, Origin of Evil, Young Adult. Let's see. No, it's. I mean, she's in quite a few things, but not the one. Oh no, yeah, she was. She was in the Haunting of Hill House.
Okay.
She was in the Flanagan Haunting of Hill House. Yeah. And then Ashley Greene. There was some stuff that I saw that was kind of interesting. She was in that movie Bombshell. I don't remember what she was in. Do you remember that movie? What she was on that movie? It was.
I don't think I watched that movie.
We did. It was Nicole Kidman.
Margot Robbie. I don't really remember it.
Margot Robbie, and there was that one.
No, I know what you're talking about now, but I don't like remember it. Like it didn't make an impact on me, I guess.
Oh, okay, yeah. It was that one. She was in LOL, the one with Miley Cyrus, which I never saw either. CBGB movie that was not that great. Yeah, she was in that. So Ashley Greene, Alice, I guess, is like a favorite in this too. She's one of the vampires. She's like a seer vampire. She can see the future. All these vampires have powers too. Like they have
most of them do. Yeah,
they have their own little superpowers. Edward's what he can hear people.
He can hear people's thoughts.
He can hear people's thoughts. Okay. And then Carlisle. I mean, Carlisle, is he just like because he's like a healer,
I feel like they said that because he had like ultra super like control or something, like because he was able to turn all of them, and they say that's not necessarily an easy thing to be able to do.
What about Esme? I don't remember what.
I don't think she had a. No? I think it was mostly like the children. Children. The 100-year-old children.
Yes, and they're also like adopted children, but they're also like a coupled up.
Yeah.
So they're like.
So who's Ashley Greene's couple?
Ashley Greene's couple is Jackson Rathbone, who is Jasper Hale. He's the latest member of the family, and
he has the power to control how you feel. Like,
okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that comes to play in the second one. Yeah, he looks like he has the power to fucking just hold a caca in forever.
Or caca his pants.
Shit his pants. Yeah.
Oh God, it happened.
And then we got Nikki Reed as Rosalie Hale.
Nikki Reed did 13 with Catherine Hardwicke. She helped co-write the movie, and she was in it.
Co-wrote it.
She helped co-write
because she was young at that point too, right?
She played younger than she actually was, but she was. I mean, younger, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Rachel Evan Wood, right? That's the name. That's right. Okay. Okay. So Rosalie's power is that she's the most beautiful woman in the world. They looked that up on that podcast today. That was like her power.
I remember that being more. See, and it's because like those little things in the book, it's like they emphasized it for other people, but like on the movie, like you wouldn't have known that.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
That.
Like.
Yeah. I don't know, but she's got a bit of a grudge with Bella for most of the movies. She's just kind of grumpy.
Yeah, you learn later why she's begrudging.
And her partner is Kellen Lutz, Emmett Cullen, and he's like just like strong bro guy.
So I can't remember, but is that his powers? That he's just really strong?
He's a strong guy. He's a strong guy. Yeah, he's the brute. Yeah. I like him. He's cool. He's in stuff.
He's a beefcake.
Beefcake. Yeah, like it's like when he's on screen, it's like, oh yeah, Kellen Lutz.
Like, I feel like he's the comic relief a lot.
Yeah, Yeah. He gets less to do in the movies, and like I'm pretty sure it was like less to do and way more money as he fucking you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's like like that's the whole thing that they were talking about in this podcast too, is that they established them as like the family, so they were kind of just locked in to them being the cast for the whole fucking thing.
And it was mostly like Ashley Greene that had the most, like besides Carlisle, and you know what I mean. Like them two had the most interaction.
That's true, man. I wonder how like they're just set like off this movie. Like,
that's why off of all movies? Of these, like none of them really ever had to, like, if they spent their money right, they could have never worked again. I'm sure.
I mean, I don't know. It would have been a cool. I don't know. Who would I have been? Would I have been Jasper?
No, I feel like you would have been in the like some of the other like,
I'd be like
the foreign characters that come into play.
I'd be the little Asian, her Asian friend.
I know, not Yorkie.
Justin Chan, Eric Yorkie. Justin Chan is Eric Yorkie. I was looking up his he's in a bunch of movies. A lot of them went to like without like the big people that have already been in, or like, you know, who we're already mentioning. A lot of like there's a lot of like this dude was in like kind of movies that were kind of on the side, or like not super wide release, or just VOD, B movie ish, which is cool, you know. But he's like
consistent.
He's the first friend she meets. We also got, let's see, Justin Chan. We got Gregory Tyree Boyce as Tyler Crowley. He nearly hits Bella with his van. That, you know, when we talk about the plot, I guess we'll talk about it. Or I think I know what song plays before that too. But the van scene is like
ridiculous.
We gotta talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And that I mean, he doesn't really have much to do. He's kind of just like in and out.
He's just a filler. That's why he was a token black kid. That's all it was. Like, we need a black kid at the school because we got the Asian kid. We got the, you know what I mean?
That's true. Wow. Anna Kendrick is Jessica Stanley. So the year after this, I mean, we'll talk about it, but the year after this, Anna Kendrick won an Academy Award for Up in the Air. That's why I remembered Up in the Air. That's why she stood out to me of Up in the Air, because I
didn't know she won an award for the movie.
It was an Academy Award. I might correct myself.
I thought maybe Vera had gotten nominated.
Yeah. No, it was Anna Kendrick. Yeah. I guess that movie stuck with me. I don't know why it stuck with me so much.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because it was one of those where, like, not a lot's going on, but it's an intense, like, where you realize, like, oh. And you know what I mean?
It's weird, too, because, like, I've only seen it that once, but I do remember, like.
I have it, I think.
Yeah, I think you do, too. Yeah. Cool. Michael Welch as Mike Newton. He's also one of Bella's friends that's vying for her attention. So this also, like, everybody wants to fuck Bella. Like, everybody in the movie just wants to fuck Bella. Everybody.
Well, not her dad.
Not her dad. But he wants to protect. I mean, he doesn't even want to protect. He's just kind of like there, like, well, okay, I guess so. Like,
I feel like he's to talk about her dad.
Billy Burke is her dad. Charlie Swan. Billy Burke plays Charlie Swan.
I liked his character the most out of, like, a lot of the other characters.
He's my favorite character in the movie.
He was such a dad. Like, what are you doing? And why so drama? Like, everything's so drama. And he's just like, what?
He's my favorite in all of them. That's why he's just like, whatever. He was in that Red Riding Hood.
He was the dad on that one too.
That's
you
funny.
should. I think you would like that one. The way we like these, like, it's just one of those movies.
We should.
I think I might have that one.
You
too.
might have it.
I do. Let's watch it. I do have it.
I'm fucking down. Yeah, let's do that. He was also in that Lights Out. He was in Fracture. Along Came a Spider. Untraceable. He's in a lot of stuff. Billy Burke, he rocks. He's always pretty solid in everything he is. And then I think we were talking about it too. Like, he has been in soaps. Like,
he was in TV stuff.
TV stuff. Yeah. He's rad. I like Billy Burke a lot. Yeah. Good on him for keeping up with these. Cam Guigenet as James Witherdale, the leader of a group of nomadic vampires that intends to kill Bella. I guess when I give the synopsis, there's like also like bad vampires in it, and they're covering up a whole crime thing. It's wild, but he's like long-haired, like I didn't even see him as the leader. Honestly, I didn't see him as a leader.
Well, because he wasn't. Laurent was the leader.
Laurent was the leader.
So go say who all those.
So Laurent is played by Eddie Gathegi, and Victoria Sutherland is Rachel Lefebvre. And
her and James are like together.
They're together? Okay.
They're together.
Okay.
And that's why Laurent, like, they kind of, Laurent, they're kind of just like, in the book, it kind of describes like they're just kind of like going along with him, but they know, like, they have their own little deal.
Like,
and
we
they're
know
just
who's
kind of
in
like,
charge.
okay, we're all three going to travel together, but we're going to do ultimately what we want to do.
Okay, I get that. Mm-hmm. All right. Cam Gijonet was in that movie that we just saw on Christmas, the Violent Night.
Oh, okay.
Remember,
I feel like he's been more consistent out of like the newer actors that had come out in this. He was more consistently like doing stuff, I felt.
Yeah, he was cool. I liked him. I liked him in this. He was also
I guess his superpower was that he had like incredible scent. Like he was a tracker because he could smell so well.
Okay. Mm-hmm. He was in Easy A as well.
Rachel, no, what was her name?
It is Lefebvre. Rachel Lefebvre, or Rachel Lefebvre. And she was recast, not the next one, because we actually saw the next one.
Yeah.
I guess she's recast the third one on Eclipse.
Yeah.
We'll talk about, I guess we'll have to talk about that. But Bryce Dallas Howard ends up playing Victoria.
Yeah.
And so what did Victoria have, or was she a tracker as well?
Well, no, she has like super speed, like she's really fast.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she's like super fast.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're all pretty menacing in their own way. Mm-hmm. It was cool. It was like the little like in Pokemon, it's Team Rocket. You know what I mean? Team Rocket in Pokemon is like there's like two bad guys, and then Meowth is their like henchman.
Oh, okay.
Henchman Pokemon, and he's like he can talk. For some reason, he's like one of the Pokemon that can talk. It's weird. I don't know. Not many can.
I don't know much about Pokemon. I just know you like Pikachu.
Sarah Clark is Renee Dwyer, Bella's mother, who just picks up and uproots with her husband Phil, and like she's like traveling the world.
They want to go on the road because Phil's a baseball. Minor, or I think he's in the minor.
He's a minor leaguer. Okay, that makes sense.
So they're going on the road for his baseball stuff.
Christian Serratos is Angela Weber, one of Bella's friends as well. So in this, I was learning that Christian Serratos is also on like The Walking Dead.
Okay.
She was in Murder House, in the pilot of Murder House of the American Horror Story. After this stuff. Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. Oh, I guess that's where she came from to be in this and stuff. Okay, Hannah Montana. She was an episode of Seventh Heaven there too. She was in an episode of that Love, Death, and Robots, which we'd never finished.
No, we haven't.
Nah. We gotta watch some of those. Those are cool. Yeah, she's like the nerd friend. I guess nerd friend. They're all kind of nerd friends, but she's like the nerd friend. I guess. I don't know. Yeah, she's cool. Taylor Lautner as Jacob Black.
Member of the Quileute tribe.
Yeah, of the Quileute tribe. An old childhood friend of Bella and a member of the Quileute tribe. His dad is what's his name? Billy Black, played by Gil Birmingham. They made an effort to really like cast like First Nations actors with all these, so like in the next movies they come up more. But like Gil Birmingham, been in that Hell or High Water, was in that. I was trying to think about it yesterday. I was like, man, he was in he was in a series that we just saw, the Under the Banner of Heaven.
Oh, okay.
With Garfield, with Andrew Garfield. He was the other detective on that. Yeah, he's awesome. I love seeing him in movies. I love seeing him pop up and stuff. You know it's gonna be cool. You know it's gonna be cool. And I mean, it's like, all right, that's good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Taylor Lautner's like post Twilight. He was 15 years old. This was his debut. His post Twilight career, like it kind of like
it like was blowing up, and then
and it fizzled. Like
I forgot why. Something happened of where like I don't know if he got blacklisted or I don't know what happened.
There was nothing really nothing. I've read, and then also listening about what's that movie on Blank Check. They talk about him on the final oh man, what's the director of Boys in the Hood? Okay, his final movie, Taylor Lautner was in, and they try to make him like. They try to make him like the action dude, like another like maybe like crossover, like a fucking like Mark Wahlberg type actor or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And he's a very baby face, like he just like it just, that movie didn't go, and he was like after that he was just kind of like there, but I think he married super rich. Also, like, I mean, of course, he's probably super rich from all this shit. But like, I follow him on social media, and he's just kind of a married guy. Like, he's just kind of like he's just like a married guy now. I don't know if he's acting or anything much anymore. Like, they tried to make a go of him being something more than he could. He came from that Shark Boy. He was Shark Boy.
He was Shark Boy
and Lava Girl. I never saw that.
I still remember, I'm sure the kids had watched it at some point. I remember seeing like bits and pieces of it. Like,
nah, I don't remember that. I don't remember it all. Yeah. But yeah, he's awesome in these movies. I mean, awesome's a fucking, I guess, like, I don't know, maybe a stretch. I don't know. Maybe awesome's a stretch. But that is like the meat and potatoes. There's also other ancillary characters. Ayanna Berkshire's Cora, who's like the waitress that talks to them. Stephanie Meyer actually makes a cameo appearance. She's at the diner, like on the counter, like typing away on her computer. Oh, she's a writer. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, she pops up in the back there.
How funny.
Yeah. Plot. So that's the thing with this. Like, there is plot. There's not plot. It's a weird story structure.
It's like trying to make a plot. It's just basically a very clumsy, nerdy, like whatever, mousy brown haired girl moves to Forks with her dad.
Forks, Washington with her dad.
She ends up meeting a group of vampires. You know what I mean? And then
she has to like
stuff ensues. They fall in love when they shouldn't. It's
she falls in love with Edward, and they have a back and forth, and it's pretty.
That's all it is.
It's pretty toxic. There's toxicness all around. I guess like
I feel like they tried to frame it like, oh, this is a Romeo and Juliet like tragic love story, but it's like. No, if he really cared about her, like he didn't have to insert himself. Like he chose to insert himself and then keep removing and removing and removing. So she chased him.
So that's the whole thing about this. Is that's also our point of view with this. Is that there is so there's a lot of like abusive behaviors in this, and it's kind of dangerous, and that's the Mormon nature of this, I guess. Like that's the Stephanie Meyer-ish weirdness of this. It's still a thing that it's like I'm not discouraging people to watch, but as long as people can identify like, oh, this shit's not normal, this shit is insane.
Like you wouldn't want your daughter, like that's why I loved Billy Burke's character so much, because he was so like he couldn't understand like what the big deal was. Like he was just like, what? And I'm like, exactly.
Yeah. He played a real dad. He played like just there's all this madness going on around him. He's like, I don't know what all these kids are doing.
And he's like, I'm the chief of police. I don't have time for this.
I don't have time for this shit. I mean, so he's only really the chief of police in this to tie the murder mystery of it all into it, you know? And then so there's a murder mystery in the background, but it's actually the three like seeker, chaser, the hunter vampires like causing a ruckus and killing people and eating humans, things like that. So that's why he's in it, and that's why he's a cop. But yeah, it's not much but them falling in love. I was reading an article that was real interesting in that the person, I'll post it in the show notes. The person writing about it was saying why I encourage young people to watch these movies, and they point out specific scenarios which are like gaslighting, which are just manipulative behavior, and just using it as an educational tool, which I thought was cool. But I also read like other articles which were like alarmist and like, you know, and then like Christian writers were like, oh my God, yeah, that show was crazy.
Yeah. How funny that they scandalized it.
It's very, and I mean, this is ripe for scandal.
Guess so, because it's like she's 17 and he's 100 and something years old. Like, and they even address that in the movie, like at one point, and say, and it's just kind of like, it's
a love story between a 17-year-old girl and a 108-year-old vampire who looks 17, but like it, and it's fun. It's so fun. Like they're like the most obvious vampires in this, and it's like, how can the people around them not? You know, it's just
right. Like, how are
weird.
you blatantly like just falling for whatever lies
Willful
they
ignorance.
tell?
Yeah. I mean, unless they like cast a spell on them. They didn't say anything like that on the books. Like they cast a spell on the crowd.
I mean, it's just, well, of course, because they're all very charming and they're very like, nobody questions what a beautiful person does.
Yeah.
Like, it's unfortunate that that's the case, but nobody questions it.
Yeah.
They just don't.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Music supervisor on this was a lady named Alexandra Patsavas. And this kind of like made her, but also not like she's kind of like a reigning queen of all this stuff. She was the music supervisor for The OC. She was the music supervisor for Grey's Anatomy, for Gossip Girl, for Mad Men, for Bridgerton and Coda, like recently.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
She's set.
Yeah, she's on it. Riverdale, she's done stuff for Riverdale, Scandal, Gossip
So she
Girl.
did the music for all of these for the saga?
She does, yeah. So like that's music directors. That's so say like I wanted to get my song into a thing, I would pitch a music director with like a catalog or whatever, and they have relationships with catalogs.
Yeah.
They're with publishers trying to get that stuff, and like she's the chingona and all that. Yeah,
because I feel like if they didn't have her on this, the music made the movies way better.
Yeah, very much so.
Way better.
Very much so. She said, so her early life, she was born in Chicago. She's of Greek descent. She was influenced by her parents' musical tastes, but she was more interested in politics and like punk rock and LPs and bad 80s haircuts and going to clubs and shows. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's the type of people. Oh, and she also early on worked on music for like Roger Corman B movies, which I thought was fucking cool. Roger Corman, fucking legend. Hundreds of movies. He's indie movie Godfather. Everybody studied under Roger Corman. It's yeah. So like, I mean, even it extends to her. Like she fucking she started off with that. That's cool. That's super cool. Yeah. So yeah, these soundtracks are huge.
Yeah.
This first one, we'll go through the set list, the track list. This first one, Casey and I kind of came to a consensus. It's like the least favorite of ours, maybe. Like, I mean, it's got some good. Like
it has good, like super good songs on it, but as a cohesive whatever, like the other soundtracks are like, whoa.
They get bigger. Yeah, it gets bigger. But this one still is still huge, and this one is no laughing matter. So first off, the movie starts off with. I mean, not the movie. The soundtrack starts off with "Supermassive Black Hole" by Muse. Not the newest Muse song. What do you think about Muse? How do you like Muse?
I have a love-hate with Muse. Like sometimes I don't mind it, and then sometimes I'm like, oh gosh, like it's too much. Like,
what's the song?
But I know that Stephanie Meyer was listening to Muse while she was writing these books. So a lot of
she was a Muse fan.
The imagery and whatever came from Muse.
Yeah. And
and I don't feel like they were that crazy super popular, but once everybody found out and that they were
popular
there
in the UK.
But like the fact that she was listening to them while she wrote the books, like everybody was like, oh, Muse.
Oh, Muse. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, in the States at least. In the States for sure. In the States for sure. But Muse consists of this dude, Matt Bellamy, another dude named Christian Wolstenholme, and Dominic Howard. And, they're like prog, spacey, alternative rock, art rocky stuff, nerdy rock, like three-man nerdy rock. What's the name of the song? Undisclosed Desires, I think it's called. I kind of want to listen to that after this. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, that song pops up during the infamous baseball scene. Yeah, that scene's fucking crazy. I don't like
that scene. I remember.
Is that in the book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it described like how they show it, or what's?
I mean, it's just like the way they displayed the scene, I guess, was kind of like, but why like that? Like in the book, it just makes sense. Like they hit the ball so hard that it needs to be thundering for people not to freak out over this loud sound. You know what I mean? Because people would be like, what is that loud cracking? Like, you know what I mean? So like they do it during a thunderstorm, and
they're so strong. So that too. Like, wouldn't the bats break?
That's what I was. That's part of all the little holes. It's like, okay, you're hitting the ball that hard, and the bat doesn't just shatter. Like, what the fuck? Or the ball doesn't disintegrate because you're hitting. I don't know. There's just too many little things.
There's so many little
where
things.
They just depended on the. They caught that age group.
They did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they weren't gonna question it.
Yeah. But it's a silly part.
Silly. It's so silly. And then I thought the costumes were so
when they wore the
bad.
50, like the
and
50s
it's because a lot of them were wearing wigs. So like being somebody that works with hair and knows if you already have a lot of hair and then you put it underneath a wig, it's gonna be somewhat puffy. So like you could tell with the hats, they were like weird oversized hats to fit on these massive wigs. But I just, like, to me, it was so distracting because they, like, put the hat on her and it's all, like, awkward. And it's just, like, you're these 100-year-old vampires with loads and loads of money and that's your fucking baseball. To me, it was just, like, it didn't make sense.
It was so silly. Decode by Paramore is the next song. The end credit song, or one of the end credit songs, right? Awesome song.
Paramore is badass.
Yeah.
And they just recently won a Grammy. They're the first woman-fronted to win for an alternative.
Oh. I think this song too was nominated for awards as well.
I think they won
itself. Yeah, they won an award.
So.
Yeah, Yeah, it's an amazing song. It's a good song. Na 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 na.
Yeah, her voice is good.
They're originally from Franklin, Tennessee. Let's see.
And they are Christian also.
Well,
I feel like
somewhat like, so Fueled by Ramen was kind of, like, that's the thing about punk rock, right? Like around this time. So it straddles Christian because like MXPX was on Tooth and Nail Records, which is like a Christian punk record label. But the thing with that is like those record labels give, you know what I'm saying? Like they were the only ones kind of paying attention to some of these bands at the time and stuff. And it's like, it's not like the bands were being like super dirty or flagrant with their language or anything like that. So like, it's not like they may have, I don't think Fueled by Ramen itself was a Christian label, but I know that there's bands on there. It's like they straddled the lines of that. That's what that was, you know? Like it's a weird thing. You ever heard about that band Reliant K? Did you ever listen to that band Reliant K?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, those dudes were like Christian, quote unquote, but but you know what I mean? Like they it was just kind of like they didn't really cuss in their music or things like that. You know what I mean? So yeah. So like that's that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just remember hearing that like there was like in some of the lyrics, like you could tell, like, I don't know, like music.
So I mean, we'll talk about one of the bands that I didn't know was more Christian. We'll talk about it, right? Yeah. Once I get to that song, but they signed to Fueled by Ramen, which is like it's like a subsidiary of Atlantic. Fueled by Ramen's where like Fall Out Boy started and stuff like that. I remember Paramore before all this, like their first album that came out in 2005. It was like the first, well, one of the last bands that me and my old best friend shared. And then like I just stopped listening to them and I didn't, you know what I mean? But like now I'm like, I've gotten into them recently and more like you play there's some songs that pop up because of you and stuff. So yeah.
And then she also like what made me like them was that she always had like her hair was always different colors. But then she used it to her advantage because now she has it's called Good Die Young and it's a color line.
Oh, really? That's fucking sick. That's cool.
Not just hers, it's her and somebody, but like that's how she gets like even now more
Haley
so
Williams.
her hair is
Right.
always Haley always has different colored hairs and that's how they're promoting their
the Faro
color.
brothers are in that too. The Zach and I forgot the other Faro, but you know that good band. They really they are a good band. Like and that's cool. That's fucking cool. That's cool. Jim reposted because she was like on like Instagram. She like said her top 5 songs or whatever, and Collapse from Sparta was one of them. So I was like, oh, that's cool. It was one of my. I felt it. I was like, I've played that with Jim.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know. That was a cool little. That was a cool thing. A cool little El Paso connection here. Full Moon by the Black Ghosts. Not my favorite song on this. Like it's like I don't know how to describe this song. Like it's the Black Ghosts. Let me pull up the Black Ghosts. An English electronic music duo composed of Theo Keating and Simon William Lord, formed in 2006. It doesn't look like they've got much past like 2013. I think this may have been like. It looks like this was like the like kind of the, like their one like their hit, you know, like their thing on this. So it might. I think I might have to revive this thing. The victims of the soundtrack. So I had talked about it with Mikey back in the Spawn episode. Where I kind of do want to, like, I thought I was going to do it back then, but maybe now I should do it where maybe we collect in a playlist, like, songs by bands that, like, were on these soundtracks that were pretty fucking sick, but they're just victims of the soundtrack. They just got lost in the fold. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I thought like, you know, they're a little bit of a victim of the soundtrack. That's not the one that I was thinking of. I'm skipping ahead songs. I'm thinking about another song. I thought it was the one that played when Bella and Edward finally get out of like the car together, and he's like wearing sunglasses and they're like together. It's not that song. It's the song after this song, which is Linkin Park's "Leave Out All the Rest." Linkin Park. I like this song more than you do.
Well, it's because you like. I've never was a fan of Linkin Park.
Yeah,
I just never was.
And like I was an early fan. I remember that. I cannot take this anymore.
Yeah, like I just couldn't.
And I was like,
so like.
I was at the age where I was like, what's this? You know, and like we like me and Chapo on our bunk beds, and I would listen to our. And
that's why I feel like I was already I was too old when they came out. Well, I guess other people wouldn't consider, because a lot of people I know that are my age, obviously Linkin Park's a very popular band, but I was never a fan, especially that fucking song. Like I was just kind of like, it was so cringy to me. I'm like, what? You're gonna like screamo and then rap? Get out of here with that.
Yeah. Chester Bennington, Mike Shinoda, Johan, Rob Borden, Dave Farrell, Brad Delson. They're like, I liked them also because they were like anime nerds. Like, and like that album Meteora, the second one that they like the booklet, the art design, all of that shit. Like they're anime, they're graffiti nerds, so I was like into that too, and like I like the design of what they did. I think Mike Shinoda is also a designer, or Johan, one of them. Mike Shinoda is also a graphic designer. So like their look, their whole thing, like I was sucked in. And yeah, like over years, I like talk shit. There's this one album that they did with Rick Rubin that was pretty fucking awesome. Like this song, I like this song. It's na 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 na. Fun fact, when I was a kid, like when I was younger in bands, like kids used to call me Chester, like from Linkin Park, and I hated that. You look like bro Chester. Hey, little Chester. I fucking hated that shit.
Everybody tells you look like somebody.
Everybody tells me I look like somebody, and it's never anybody I want to look like. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you, everybody. But I like this song. It's very intense, very ballady. I feel like a lot of these are ballady. Like,
yeah, for sure.
From the bigger artists, they're ballady. Except Muse. Muse is the only one that's like big and not a ballad, but like everybody else is kind of.
And that's funny because all their songs are ballady.
The one I like is a ballad. Yeah, the one I like is a ballad.
Yeah, they're super ballad. Like he has a don't get me wrong. That's why I have a love and hate relationship with him because he has a great voice.
Yeah,
but sometimes it feels too like okay, like you know.
You know who really likes them? Mark and Alfred. Shout out to Mark and Alfred. Maybe you should have Mark and Alfred on here.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Fuck yeah! I wonder what they would do. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I know that they've done meetups with other fans. They've gone to other countries and like seen them and stuff like that. Yeah. Wow. Shout out to them. Shout out to that. Spotlight. This is the song. It's a and like it pops up. So Spotlight by Mute Math. It pops up when Bella and Edward,
they're together. They're a couple and they go to school and they go in the same car and everybody's like, ooh.
Yeah, we're fucking a thing now. What? You don't like it? Whatever. Get away from us. It's like they had that kind of attitude. It was like,
and then him with the sunglasses on and the...
But then like that too, like, okay, so this is the series that introduced a lot of different types of vampire lore. And one of them, which was like the sparkly vampire thing. So they sparkle in the sun. And like, so he has sunglasses on, but he doesn't fucking sparkle in front of everybody there. Like, I don't, like,
that's
is
why
it that overcast?
It's like there has to be all the clouds in the sky or else he's gonna sparkle. But to me, it's like they try to make it like he's like, I'm a killer, Bella. You have to see what I look like. And it's like, okay, killer.
I'm a killer.
I'm in a glitter.
This is the skin of a killer.
Yeah, this is the skin of a killer, Bella. It's like, calm down.
Remember,
shiny thing. Like, they, like, to make it, like, to turn that into a negative was like, they did not do a good job of it. Like,
it's such a weird thing. Like, and then the whole... this is the skin of a killer. Like, you don't want me. Like, he's so angry at being himself, but then like he's like negging her so he could get her and
that's
she could
what I'm
be
saying.
With him.
Like the whole where he didn't have to insert himself. Like the scenes where you always see Rosalie like upset with him or kind of like trying to tell him something is because he keeps inserting. Like how at the beginning, when like she walks in and he gets the whiff and it's like it seems like he's so disgusted and he's like covering his face and like looks like he wants retching. To puke and you find out that it's like he actually smelled her and she was the most delicious smell that he had ever smelled in his life. And it's like, yeah, exactly. Like fucking jizz in his pants right there in the fucking biology class. But I'm like, you're 109 years old. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, okay, so this is the first person that's really like riled you up. But knowing what you know and feeling the way you feel about your mortality, why would you even like keep pursuing? You're not actually 17 and stupid. You know better. You know what I mean?
Too, like,
you're not actually 17, guys.
Why do they like? They look like they could be adults. Why do they all have to be high schoolers?
It's because remember, there's a scene where he says it too, where he's like, the earlier we start off, the longer we can stay. So if they start off as high school, they can live in town until they start to look like okay, you should start looking like you're 40. So that's when they move.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why he uses that excuse to leave like later in the movie when he tells her Carlisle's starting to look 10 years younger older than he's supposed to.
Yeah. Okay.
So but I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
There's just there's too many holes with a lot of the stuff. Like they want you to be so vested in all of the lore and all of the this and the, but then it's like, okay, but you're not doing a good job at making that believable. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mute Math. So Mute Math was a band that started off, was a long distance collaboration from Paul Meany in New Orleans and Darren King in Springfield, Missouri. They went from like 2002 to 2018. Let's see. I remember them. They were on Warner Brothers Records. They were on Word Records. I remember the name. I remember the name being around.
They were popular before this movie happened, and then to see them on it, I was kind of like, well, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know if this killed them or like it was.
2002 to 2018 as a full band, and from 2018 till now, it's like a solo act. Like I just checked, there's a website, you know, that they're releasing stuff and such. So yeah, you know, keep it going, keep going, Mute Math. You know, you did your thing. Like that's the whole thing with soundtracks. Like, if you get on one and you can fucking get that fucking boost, it's like, fuck it. Like,
sometimes it's too much to live up to. Like,
that's true. That's true.
That too. It could either make you or break you.
So, next song by Perry Farrell is Go All the Way Into the Twilight. Perry Farrell, watch. So this song's not just by Perry Farrell, also co-written by Atticus Ross.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That right? Like, I was like, oh shit, cool.
That's cool. That's right? A little full circle. There.
Shout out to Atticus. Shout out to Atticus. If you guys don't know who Atticus Ross is, you can listen to the previous 13 fucking episodes of of our fucking podcast and get to know Atticus real well. But Perry Farrell, singer-songwriter, best known as the frontman for Jane's Addiction. He's Jane's Addiction, like,
I feel like he was the most like famous, not necessarily famous, but the most established artist on this soundtrack, on this particular one.
Yeah, he created Lollapalooza. He's like a chingon in the 90s, or late 80s, 90s, coming from LA, like rock, alternative rock, blending punk
and glam a little bit.
And psychedelic shit and tropical sounds even. You know what I mean?
With his screamy, scratchy voice.
And he's got such a high voice and he was he was actually at points in his life he'd worked as he waited tables. I think even in points in his life he was maybe have been a prostitute at some point and stuff too.
I feel like maybe a lot of people that's
Yeah, he was a club singer. He lived in his car in LA for quite some time. So that's that's his thing. He was living in LA, noticed that people in a band needed a singer, so he decided to join. Jane's Addiction, also Dave Navarro, fucking I love Dave Navarro, as a guitarist. I really like his guitaring. One Hot Minute by the Chili Peppers, when he was in it, is honestly a very good record, and I think a very overlooked record. So Red Hot Chili Peppers, One Hot Minute, you guys should check that out. Perry Farrell, this song, oh man, I'm trying to remember when this song pops out. I think it actually pops up one of those scenes when I think it's when he's carrying Bella on his back and they're running through the trees, and oh my god,
that too. I'm okay,
little fucking Yoda, her Yoda moment.
And even when he tells her, "You better hold on tight, little spider monkey," people fucking loved that. That was a thing. That was a
really that was a thing. That's right.
Everybody it was I wanted me a spider monkey.
What happened to spider monkey?
But it was just the way. The way they had him move up the tree and it was so robotic, trying to look fast.
Because it was that CG shit, but then you're closing up on him and you're just his legs aren't moving or anything. Yeah.
It was very awkward. And I'm there's so many things about they're supposed to be very statuesque and they're vampires and they're smooth and fluid. And it was just that was raunch.
Aye. It was, it was whack. Next song is by Collective Soul. Tremble for My Beloved.
Very surprised that Collective Soul
that too.
Was on this.
I believe Collective Soul also has the Christian undertones, and I think they may have started off as a Christian band. If I'm not mistaken, please feel free to if you're a big Collective Soul fan and you know a lot of that stuff, feel free to correct me. I don't know.
Me personally,
I'm saying on our
general,
audience.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
I remember that was part of all the stuff we were listening to, and it was Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff, because I remember
whoa.
Yeah, Collective
Never
Soul
let the light shine
be
down.
playing fucking Super Mario Brothers, listening to Collective Soul.
And I walk the ball high and I step to the edge.
I was very surprised. I was Collective Soul? I thought they would have been
that was the Stephanie.
They're too old.
No, that was the Stephanie Meyer of it all. Yeah, it was a Stephanie Meyer pick.
I need this.
Yeah, that was on her. Yeah, so she's got her own little soundtrack playlist here. So I'll read that in just a bit too.
Okay.
But that was one of her picks. She reached out. I think it was it was her pick, and she reached out to Muse and Collective Soul. I believe that's what it was. But Collective Soul, I think they're not Atlanta. They're from Stockbridge, Georgia. So the Georgian band. Now they're based in Atlanta. They're still going. That's what, like, grungy, alternative, rocky stuff. Like those songs that I was singing, more like uplifting stuff. They're older dudes, but like, fuck it. They fuck it. They fucking. This song isn't like. For what it is, it's not a bad song. Like, it's just weird that it's on here.
Yeah,
like,
it feels like it didn't go with the rest of the song.
Or like it could have been like, or it's like Stephanie Myers was imagining it being like a late 90s fucking movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what this movie is so weird. Like, it's so many things. Like, it feels indie, but situations like the baseball scene are like very 90s-y, and like you know what I mean? It's so weird. It's so weird. Yeah. Next song, I Caught Myself by Paramore. Another Paramore song. Out of the two Paramore songs on this, which one do you say you like more?
The Decode for sure.
Yeah. I do like this song though. I like the chorus.
Paramore's awesome. Like, super. Like, it's hard to not sing. Like, once you know those words, it's hard not to.
This is a good song. Yeah, Decode was kind of written from the perspective of like their relationship of
That's why,
Bella,
like, if you listen to what she's saying, it's just kind of like,
trying to decode what the fuck you're doing and what you're saying.
Or even just like the way she's saying. I forget what some of the lyrics are, but like you can hear
I'm gonna decode what you're saying, vampire. You fucking vampire. Okay, next song is The Jam. It's Blue Foundation's Eye on Fire. This song's the fucking jam.
The Eyes on Fire is like it made the movie cool.
Yeah.
Like, this song just made it so much cooler than it would have been if this song was not on there.
This song is what appealed to me when you were like, listen to the soundtracks. Like, I was like, this song. It pops up when she's like looking at him it's like in the parking lot, right? Right before he stops her friend's driving a big van in the parking lot and
is going too fast and tries to brake really hard, and then all of a sudden she's like pinned between her truck and the van, but Edward's there to scoop his arm under her and hold her while he pushes the van away.
Yeah.
And that whole thing too didn't make sense when you do the other scene where he finds her and he drives up all speed racer in his car and saves her from those guys, and then later they both touch the air conditioning knob at the same time, and she's like, oh,
you're so cold. Cold. Like, he's touched her so many times.
That cold, how would you not have felt it when he was holding you? You know what I mean? Like, that there's so many little things where it's like, okay, this doesn't make sense. Like, how come it's this now and not this later? Like,
that also brings to this, like, they're all vampires. They're all cold. Like,
how is Carlisle a doctor touching everybody all the time, and they're not like, what the fuck with your cold hands on me?
Not fucking like shaking people's hands, and you know, like, he feels like they feel like corpses.
You're a corpse.
They are the most obviously vampire-ish people. Like, they're the most obvious vampires.
Going to school in high fucking heels. Like, Rosalie's heels are like fucking stiletto-ass
And then
shoes.
just their skin, like, they're so pale. Like, there's no blood in them. Like, what the fuck?
But it's also, we live somewhere where there's, like, a lot of brown people, so I think we forget how pale people can be.
But even that, like on that podcast, they're, like, Blank Check was even talking, like, they're so pale, they're so desaturated, they're just so dead-skinned. Like, oh my god. But Blue Foundation is a Danish band. It's more of a duo. I don't think the singer at this for the song, like, I don't think she's like a full member. They're still around. They got like other placements. They were featured in the Miami Vice, the Michael Mann Miami Vice. That movie fucking rocks. Like, that movie fucking rocks. I like that fucking movie a lot. They also did music for CSI Miami and The Vampire Diaries, like another vampire thing. So yeah, they're cool. I like, this song is the shit.
It's such a good song.
It is a good song. It's very like
The
when it's
bass,
that
it's very
dun,
bassy,
dun,
and then just her
dun,
voice, like her
mm-hmm.
voice, like she makes the song. If
She
she's not a
does.
part of the group all the time,
Yeah.
like it's a very different band if she's not in it.
Their last release was in 2019. 2019 was their last release. So I'm sure they're still doing stuff. They're influenced by like Stereolab, My Bloody Valentine, Broadcast. Cool. Did you hear the Zed's Dead remix of this song?
Probably, I can't remember it.
I listened to it recently because that like the song became more popular too because of the Zed's Dead remix.
Of course.
So it's a dubstep remix. It doesn't like when it kicks into the wow, it's like but the drum part's pretty fucking cool. Like in all honesty, like it's pretty cool. It's an okay remix, I guess, but
It's not cooler than the song.
not
Like if you're
cooler
gonna
than the song.
remix it should be better than the song. You know what I mean? Like that's how I always feel.
Yeah, this song just like it was just it
So cool.
It's so it came out of nowhere. I like when you're like when I heard that I was like, oh shit, like
That's why when Angie burned, like when this movie came out, of course Angie had all the stuff. So I got the burn copy of the movie. I got the burn copy of the soundtrack. Like, but yeah, that song like was on repeat.
It's still on repeat for me right now. Yeah. Never Think, the Robert Pattinson tune. I mean, so he wrote some music for this. There's another song that's out there that was on like a second disc or like on a secret track or something like that. Here sounds like this.
Yeah, I was surprised that it was him when I found out it was him. Like I didn't because that's how it usually feels like when people have non-American accents and then they sing and they sound American. Like it always trips me out.
There's a thing though, like with British folk singers, where this like when he started singing like this, it wasn't a surprise to me. In all honesty, because I guess I've like. Since I was in the Lusitania and I was when I was in the Lusitania, like and like Gila and like doing stuff with Jim and like Sleeper Car, like I dived into this world, right?
Yeah.
Like I was in this world.
Yeah.
There's this dude I know, his name's Andrew Swift. Shout out to Andrew Swift. He's like a big country star in Australia right now. Like he's huge, and he was like the first long record I was a part of when I was in the studio, like the first assignment, like I was there, like being an intern. But he was Australian. When he sang, it's like super, like very American. You know what I mean? It's like they idolize like that American country, like kind of songers, twangy type of thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. So
I didn't know that.
So when I was listening to this, I was like, okay, like, so it's an okay song. It's got a very fucking long intro. There's so much guitar in the beginning, and it's like, I kind of feel like, okay, like, are you making up the words like right at that moment, and then you're gonna sing? You know what I mean?
How funny.
Yeah, very romantic, very schmoozy. It pops up in, so one of the acoustic songs pops up when like Bella gets bitten and they're fighting with
scene.
the fight scene, and she's like like in the background, like as they're like looking at her, as Carlisle's like, oh,
you can hear it,
like, you can hear it there. Yeah, you can hear it there. And man, I had it. Let me see if I have it marked down on my notes when the other one popped up. But it was like it was just a love scene, and I just thought like this is like me sitting with Casey, putting like one of my songs on and like having her listen to it while I like try to be romantic with her. You know what I mean? I just thought it was weird. That's what I thought. I just thought it was weird. Yeah. So I think the placement of the song was weird for me.
Yes, the placement of the song was weird. Like now you're gonna put this song on now. Like this song does not go.
Next song, Iron and Wine's Flightless Bird. That's like
prom. They're dancing.
It's the prom dance.
Prom.
It's gonna come back. We're gonna bring it back up, but it comes back when they're married and stuff. And I found you.
I remember.
Good. It's good song. It's a good song. Like it's beautiful. I think Iron and Wine. Samuel Irvin Beam. The record that this album's on.
It has like the dog on it with the string, or I don't know what.
The Shepherd's Dog. It's my favorite Iron and Wine record. It's got a song on there called "Boy with a Coin." I've been playing. It's an amazing song. His guitar works awesome. When you see him play these tracks live too, he always plays them differently. Like that's what's so cool. That's what's cool about this band.
He changes it up.
Yeah, he changes it up. Like "Boy with a Coin," he added like a kind of like a rock steady like reggae thing. It was cool. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. So good band, Iron and Wine, been around since like the early aughts, so 2002. Yeah.
Right? Because weren't they popped out before like emo was emo. Like
it's around that,
turned into emo, but it was like I remember hearing about them. Like it was like that was like serious. I like alternative music, but I'm serious.
Yeah, very serious. Very serious music. The latest thing he did a, let's see, it says "Who Can See Forever" soundtrack. Oh, I guess he did a, oh, cool. He did some performances in Soxapah, North Carolina, and he did a live album with that in 2023. And there's like a 2023 documentary, and that's like the latest thing that he's put out and such. So cool. Fuck yeah. Iron and Wine. I'm down. Then well, I mean, that's kind of like the last full song. It ends with Bella's Lullaby. Also, that's
that
that's a drinking game.
The whole movie.
Yeah, Bella's Lullaby it.
It's just there throughout the whole movie.
And he like it even shows at some point like Edward's playing it on the piano.
And she's just looking at him like, "You're amazing."
That shit was so fucking crazy. And it's like how many times does everybody say Bella in this movie? Carter Burrell. Carter Burrell is he's the main, like, so it's Carter Burrell for Twilight, and then I think Eclipse and the rest of the movies. New Moon is Alexander Desplat, who does like the score music and stuff. Okay. So Carter Burrell is the score for this stuff. Yeah. Okay. But how many, like, they say Bella so many times. Like I don't think I've ever, like, the writing in these books was, I just remember reading paid parts when it came out. Atrocious. Like I
read that like she got a lot of, like, of course people talked a lot of shit of like how like general and how like easy and like how dumb the writing was. But she won so many awards.
Know, it's so
like
wild.
So many awards.
It's so wild. Like there's so much better YA out there.
Yes, like around the same time that these novels came out, the series that Cassandra Clare wrote, The Mortal Instruments.
Yeah. You're saying
so good, and so much lore, and so much like backstory, and like she backtracked like characters like 100 years back, and then went 100 years forward. Like it's very cohesive, and the characters are very well developed, and like such better stories, and like the love story in it isn't like a helpless, you know what I mean? Like it's more like, yes, this is what you would want your daughter or child to be empowered in this way, like not to be victimized. You know what I mean?
The movie, is it Mortal Engines? I think it's Mortal.
That's a different one, but they did try to turn those books into a movies? Film. So they did one. They did one movie, and what's his face is in it. Vecna, how he's in this one.
Oh,
he's one of the he's part of the Volturi. He was in that first movie. He played one of the main characters.
We're going to talk about him in the next movie. Yeah. I really want to talk about I like him a lot.
I like how he's Vecna now.
I know.
Jamie Campbell Bower.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He was in those movies, right? And it was, what's her face? What's her name? We just saw her on Mank. She played the assistant that was helping him.
Yes.
She was the main character on that one that played from that novel.
Well, so it's these ones? Is that movie?
No, that's different.
Oh.
Mortal Instruments.
Instruments.
Yeah, that's a different whole different thing.
So this Mortal Engines is, I hear, supposed to be the closest visual, like live action movie, like that kind of mimics like a Miyazaki movie. So I've been wanting to watch that.
I'm down.
Yeah. Okay, I know which one Mortal Instruments is.
Yes,
okay, now I know. Okay,
and then once that movie kind of flopped, it's because the book was so good that people kept fighting to try and get it to do something. So they were trying. It got put on CW, like it was going to be a show.
Oh,
and then that ended up fizzling out. So it just fucking sucked because they're such good books. And if they would have done it before Twilight came out, Twilight would have never been a thing.
Yeah,
it would have never been a thing.
I think Twilight did set off like a YA like movie
resurgence.
Yeah,
and it was also, it felt to me like Twilight did what Backstreet Boys or like even the Jackson 5 did for boy bands. Like it brought it to the forefront of like, ooh, we're doing this, and then there was NSYNC and all this and whatever. Like I feel like it popularized that style of book.
And to that like extent, like they were on the podcast that I was listening to today. They mentioned like this was a movie franchise that you could get into because it wasn't bro-y. There's a lot of franchises that are very bro-y and that have like a lot of this is that and this is the lore of that. But the lore of this is very fluffy. It's very very lovely. It's very fantastical.
It's teenage girl. It's a teenage girl. Like
it's teenage love. It's like how crazy it is to be in love as a teenager. And that was one of the things that they were bringing up on Blank Check also, like just how wild it is to have. Because
you're already
things.
crazy.
Yes.
Like your crazy.
Hormones are crazy. Yes.
And just like how when they realize that James is after her and he's looking for her and we have to get you away and what am I going to say to my dad? And it's like that whole drama. His 109-year-old ass couldn't come up with a better fucking thing than to have her storm into the house and be like, go away, Edward, I never want to see you again. Right. It's like, why sabotage your little relationship already?
Yeah.
Like, why make it so that he hates Edward again?
Yeah.
Like, the dad already didn't fucking like him.
Yeah.
And now you're going to do that so that you can turn around and say, no, I'm in love with him. Like, I was just kidding. I want to live in Forks. I'm not going to go move back with my mom. That whole scene, like, it was so frustrating to watch and see him standing outside of her door as she keeps slamming it in his face. And he's just, like, trying to figure out, like, what to say to make her feel better. And it's just like, fuck. Like,
that was such a...
I don't even have kids, and I fucking felt for him. Like, God. Like,
that's so annoying.
That was so... And she's like, I just need to go. I just need to drive. I just need to... And it's like, I would have been like...
kids,
if that would have been a Mexican household, it would have been like, I don't know what you're going to drive in because that's my fucking truck. Mm-hmm. I got you that truck. You're not leaving in that truck. That's my truck. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know? Just so many things where I'm like... Spoiled kids. Like, that's spoiled kids shit.
Let's see. I wanted to bring, like, the apple. There was that apple scene where
that was a big deal in the movie. I remember there were so many scenes that I remember the theater going crazy over. Like, when the apple scene, when it drops and he catches it and it's, like, the cover of the book, everybody was like, ah! And then, of course, when he's like, I have the skin of a killer, Bella. And he takes off his shirt and glitters. And it's just like, oh, my God. Or when, like, of course, we'll talk about Jacob more later. Like,
yeah, we got to talk about him
when he
later.
Blossoms.
Oh
and that was such a... But there was just so many things in this.
He's such a twerp. He's such a twerp in this, yeah.
Like, the scene when Edward walks into the cafeteria and his hair. I remember so many people, so many guys asking for that haircut.
Yeah.
Many. And then so many girls asking for Alice's haircut.
Yeah, I could see that. I remember that. Yes. I remember that haircut being around. Yeah. I could, yeah.
I remember that. So many things. And then I remember, since Angie was so obsessed, of course, Hot Topic partnered with we're going to sell all the Twilight merch. So it wasn't even just because of the book. Now it was all the movie stuff. So it was the costumes. Her, for her birthday, that dress that she's wearing on her birthday, that was a whole thing. And it was like $100 dress. Like the ring that she wears in the movie a lot of the time, that ring she has on, like a necklace or something, just little things that all of them have. Like they were like memorabilia, like from the movie, and like Angie had all. I'm sure she still does. Like she has all that shit. Shout out to Angie. She was my old boss when I worked at Master Cuts. How like 15 years ago? Ooh,
Wow.
almost 15 years ago. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would go with her opening night for all of these fucking movies and see them at midnight, like after work, after we had just fucking worked all day, and would go at midnight to see these movies. And we were probably some of the oldest people there, besides like ladies that were my age that I am now that were there. The range it was like tweens, lots of little tween girls, and then lots of like early 20s girls, and then like ladies. It was so like all over the place, like, and there was so much like and in the theater and like clapping. When that movie finished, there was clapping.
I
standing ovation when the movie finished.
Standing ovation.
I remember, and it was in the big theater where so many people like, and how you can always hear somebody doing something. Silence, like that theater, unless there was something silent. It was crazy. Yeah, it was a thing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk about it more in the next episodes because like it just
There's
amps
so
up.
much.
It just amps up. It just amps up from here. They get a bigger budget.
This one I feel like and then this one I remember having a burned copy of it, and when I received it, it was in my DVD player, and I remember putting it on one night, coming home and I was drunk. And I remember that's all I heard all night was the opening credits of the DVD starting over and over.
Oh no,
and
I've done that
again.
before with something with
all night long.
I've done that with the Robin Big. People, let me tell you about my best friend. God. I was just wasted and I did not want to touch that thing. I was just like, yeah, that sucked.
Oh my god,
I remember doing that.
Yeah, that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything else with this movie? Any lasting things before? Yeah.
What else?
There's a lot. The cast list kind of does it. There's gonna be chunks of changes here and there. It's gonna flex. It's
gonna grow. There's gonna be like a little bit more. I feel like the last two movies have the introduction of the newer
when it gets wild,
main cast, and there's just so many.
The last two movies are wild. Mm-hmm. They're gonna be wild when that's gonna be crazy when we talk about them. And it's just the Jacobness of this comes into play. Mm-hmm. It gets even
everybody
more
gets
toxic.
The team Edward, the team Jacob, that was a whole.
We're gonna
get
in, well, it's gonna get into it. It's gonna get ugly. Yeah.
Are you team Edward or team Jacob?
I'm team Charlie. I'm fucking team Charlie. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Charlie, he's so neutral, and these kids are fucking manipulating this poor little girl. And all she wants to do is we're gonna get into it, but basically all she wants to do is fuck. And from fucking New Moon on, she's just make me one of you. And I think that's just an allegory for we gotta fuck. You know what I mean?
I guess
it take my virginity.
That's that thing too of that we have to get married because at the end of the movie,
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. The next movie, because it's a thing I want to bring up. I want to talk about that with some detail.
But just there were so many times when he just gasped. Oh, so the scene when they're standing in the hall at the hospital after she gets all patched up. When nothing happened to her or whatever, but they take her to the hospital after she almost gets hit by the van. And she catches him talking in the hallway to Carlisle and Rosalie.
Yeah.
And it's she tells him, can I talk to you? And he comes over and he's like, well, I think you hit your head pretty hard, Bella. I think you're thinking you saw something you didn't see. I was like, what a dick. And he was just, even the way he did it, it was amusing to him. You could see the smirk. And it's just you're so much older than this girl, and you're trying to gaslight her to thinking that she didn't see what she fucking saw.
Yep.
But I do like that she still, even though she still does whatever he says, ultimately, she's had power in her conviction of no, where she says, I know what I saw. She kept I know what I saw.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I feel like this could have been better. And not so abusive relationship-y. You know what I mean?
That's just the book, but that's like the story of it all. That's what it is. Like, so they were just trying to translate the book to the movie. Like, we're gonna talk about it. But the director from like the screenwriter, they're basically she kind of just like. It was kind of a cake assignment because she just had to like adapt.
Yeah, transfer it over.
Translate it over.
You know what I mean? Make sure we say these lines and these little conversations.
And she made a lot of money with like, you know what I mean? It's a little gravy train.
Well, but that's why, because Melissa Rosenberg. Yeah, we talked.
We talked about her. Yeah, we talked about her. Yeah, we talked about her. But
yeah, it's all of that. Like, it's very OC. It's very like the banter and the whole like the they feel like they're being quippy, but it's not really like I don't know. It's we love it. We love to hate it.
Yeah. And it's just wild that I've seen these movies so many times already. Like,
and you'll see them so many times.
And I'm going to see them more. Like, we got to continue watching. So, yeah. Oh, man. All right. Next movie is Twilight New Moon. So this soundtrack is hard to find in its entirety on the streamings. Yeah. Like, it's chopped up. It was a whole it's a record label thing. I believe it was released on Stephanie Meyer. Like, there's like a record label that was like a subsidiary.
You said you were going to talk about her song.
She has a soundtrack too. Okay, so this is her song list for this. I'm going to post it on the show notes also, but song 1, Why Does It Always Rain on Me by Travis. Travis, British band. Okay. Yeah, I think she's probably just like a Brit person. Like, I don't know if she's British, but she's like, it's like probably a fan of Brit. Yeah, I think. Creep by Radiohead. In my place by Coldplay. Na 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 na. My Chemical Romance. I'm Not Okay, I Promise. I'm not. Yeah, I like that song. Linkin Park's With You. Linkin Park's By Myself. Dreaming by OMD. David Gray's Please Forgive Me. Man, I haven't heard David Gray's name in so long. Dido's Here With Me. Okay. Muse, Time Is Running Out. Tremble for My Beloved by Collective Soul was on there. The Cranberries' Dreams was on there. Cranberries. And the last one is on her list. Billy Joel's Lullaby. Good Night, My Angel. Like... Billy Joel for the kids, I guess. I guess that one's for the fucking teens, I guess. So
my friend Jennifer has always been a huge Billy Joel fan, and I remember hearing her talk about him in middle school or high school. And I didn't know who Billy Joel was, but I knew who Billy Joel was, and I remember thinking, what?
Jim likes Billy Joel.
As a kid, yeah. Or I don't know, I guess. You're listening to whatever your parents are listening to.
Yeah, you listen.
So people say the same shit about me listening to a bunch of 80s music.
Yeah, but I mean, Billy Joel, I don't know. I don't think we're ever going to have to talk about him on this podcast. So thank goodness. Thank goodness to that shit. All right, the next episode, Twilight New Moon. I'll post the soundtrack. So that's why this soundtrack's hard to find in its entirety. So I'm going to post all the songs in the playlist I made on the show notes below as well. Some of the articles I was reading on, like, I'm also going to post links on support for like abusive relationships, manipulation and things as such. Like, we may be joking about them here for sure. We may be joking about this here. It's not. It's a serious thing.
Yeah,
it's not a joke.
Not a joke.
And we understand that. And I do want to keep posting those links throughout these films because I feel that article did make it seem like this is like an educational point. Like
these are red flags.
These are red.
For.
Like there's so many red flags throughout these movies. They're entertainment. That's entertainment. But, like, there's some controversy in there. It's weird. These movies are just weird relics. It's a weird fucking franchise, and I love it. And Casey loves it. And the soundtracks, they get better.
Yeah, like, you can't, that's, if the soundtracks weren't attached to the movies, I don't think I would have been, like, kept watching or whatever.
Yeah. They become
But I also
a big
just,
thing.
Anything vampire. Like, I just can't help it.
Yeah.
Like...
Love
vampires.
The director of the next one had a chunk to say about like the next soundtrack and stuff. So I'll bring that stuff up in the next thing. So New Moon, directed by Chris Weitz. It's gonna be cool. Casey, anything you have to say? Anything? Any last things you want to say? Any plugs? Anything? I don't know.
Well, no, I'm still Casey is Harry on Instagram, but the salon I recently did the name change did go through, and it is not Casey is Harry.
Yeah.
I had been talking with Javi about it, and I had been waiting. I had submitted online for Casey is Harry, and been waiting and was pretty much waiting for no reason because they never received that shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I resubmitted because we had been brainstorming, and this name was on the list previously of what to name the salon, but the salon is now Deep Cuts.
Yeah.
And I feel super awesome about it. And that shit got approved from one day to the next. So I felt like it was very kismet. Like it was supposed to happen that way. And it feels really good. And yeah, Deep Cuts. So salon, you can find it at deepcuts_EP. And mine's Casey is Harry.
All right.
Yeah.
You can find me at _JJCABALLERO. My website's kind of down right now. It's weird. I gotta figure out what's up with it. But jjcaballero.com. It's because the company that was hosting my link tree got bought out, and they did away with that company. And I never did the transfer. But also the link in bio company that bought it is whack, and I want to find a different thing. But anyway, you can find me at Instagram for right now. I'll post my letterbox under here too. You could see the thing, like my little reviews that follow what we're watching aside from what these movies are, because we watch a lot of movies. And the MonoStereoVideo on Instagram. We're March 21st, once again, March 21st at Mona. Put it on your calendar. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to have a party. We're going to play a lot of music. It's going to be good. Good stuff out there.
Wear your best
cyberpunk outfit. Just because. It's going to be fun.
Halloween. We're doing it now.
Halloween in March. So fuck it. Thank you very much to all of my listeners, all of our listeners. Thank you to our international listeners.
Yes,
some people from India just started listening too. I just saw that was cool. I don't know, I don't know what they stumbled upon, but new listeners. And if you like the Twilight soundtracks and you're a new listener, and the hope we did it justice. We love these soundtracks, and we're gonna continue to talk about them with love. Feel free to listen to our talking about Trent Reznor or any of the previous episodes with any of our friends. Thank you guys very much. Thank you very much, and we'll listen to you later.